Stitches. Welcome to my channel. This is a YouTube channel that I have that I talk about cross stitch. I call it Flosstube. And today it is 3/16 on 11/15, and yeah, we're starting to get some cooler weather here. We were unseasonably warm for where I am. To not have snow on Halloween is very unusual, and it's been the second year in a row where that has happened. So yeah, unusual, you know, climate change, whatever you want to attribute it to. I think one thing, people think whatever they want. So anyways, I'm not here to talk about weather or, you know, other stuff. I'm here to talk about stitching. So I am going to just show you a couple of things that I've been plugging along on slowly. And sometimes I don't always show all the progress, and so I think it's been a while. And you're going to want to see those eventually, right? So why not? That is where I believe we're going to leave Beloved for now. It's out of the way. It's still on display. It works for now, so that's where that's going to be. And Simply Meant to Be, my third most recent finish, is also over there, but that's not what I'm going to show you today. So yeah, let's just get on with. It's been about 4 weeks, I think. If I look back, I believe it's been at least 3, could be 4 weeks since my last video, and I've had 2 finishes. One of them is huge for me, and the other one was just a little quick finish, start and finish. I believe I did have it started in my last video, and now it is finished. And let me get the pattern information, because yeah, I do remember showing it last time, because I tried to find a picture of it online. It's not very it's not a very popular or current pattern, and so that's why it's hard to find. It's called Pumpkin Time Heart by the Sweetheart Tree. This is from 1996, and there's no cover photo. It's one of these kinds of charts. I'm only showing you that side because that's just some of the directions, generic directions, and the charts on the other side. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is as a finish in a cute little frame that I think is very versatile. Yeah. So it's just mounted on some foam core and tucked into the frame. And there's some up close. So lots of specialty stitches. This is a band sampler type mixed with cross stitch. You can finish it to shape around the heart and make a little pillow or some kind of something like that. There's no finishing instructions on it. It's basically finish however you wish, and I chose to do this. I believe, you know, some people are going to cut around the heart and do a heart-shaped type flat finish, or a soft finish, you know, turn this into a little cushion. Yeah, but that's my finish, and I have a lot more of this type of chart by Sweetheart Tree, and so they're really good, great for a travel project. Yeah, so you'll see more of those. And I do have other little square frames. This one has a blackbird design in it, and this other one has a Hardanger heart in it. But yeah, I can switch them out. I got all these cute little designs that would fit those little frames, so, you know, lunchtime projects, there we go. Okay, so that's one finish. The other finish is in here somewhere. Oh, it's over there buried. Okay, we'll save that one for later. So this is another project that is very close to being finished, and this one is from, I thought I had all my notes, but nope. Let me see. This is one of the oldest whips that I have. I started it in 2020. I was going to say 2020, but, you know, you doubt yourself, and it's the only project that I have left from 2020. The two projects older than that are nowhere near being finished. So, yeah. This is Beautitudes by My Big Toe. It is going to look like this when it is finished. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And yeah, I mean, this is 5 years in the making. The last probably year and a half has been just slowly plugging away at it while I am chatting on Sunday mornings with my good friends Amy, Gail, and Kim. And yeah, that's basically all I do is work on the border. Sometimes I work on the letters during that, but usually it's like afterwards. I'm still in the groove, you know? So, yeah. There's a mistake here somewhere on the E, and I'm just gonna work my way around it and come back and fudge it. So this is based on verses from the Bible talking about the kingdom of heaven. And who knows, that might be finished when you next see it. I am stitching it with not the called for, because the called for is silks on linen, and I'm stitching it on 22 count white Hardanger fabric, and I started it with Threadworks 1024, which is this dark blue. There's some subtle change of color, and Gentle Arts cranberry. I think I had 4 regular size skeins and ran out, and that was when I was maybe halfway done, and so I knew at that time that I had to buy more or dye more. Well, okay, at that time I knew I had to buy more, and so I bought more, but it didn't match, and so I bought more and it didn't match, and so then I bought a bunch of different colors of DMC in red and brought them home and picked, I believe it was 805, and overdyed some myself to match, and that is what the rest of it is being stitched with. I still have some of the original, which I may throw in somewhere just to use it up and have that, you know, I complete the blend or complete the look or whatever, but there's not a lot of red left to do, so if it fades at a different rate, I want the new thread to not show up. Yeah. Not be obvious. Just blend. Okay. So, since I'm over here, we might as well pull out this one. And this is not my next oldest, but it's definitely one of the biggest projects that I have on the go right now. I think I'm the farthest along on this one. As far as my 3 full coverage projects go, Hatter is the closest to being finished, but it is also the smallest. I don't know how much the stitch count is. There's still a lot of work to do. This one is the Stitching Shelf by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And here's where it was when you last saw it, and where it is now. And to be honest, it could be a completely different... If I remember right, I had it off of the Q-snaps, and I wasn't sure where I was going to go. Well, guess what? I went over here. And so I've been working in filling in this background here and around this butterfly, working in the parked threads, and just somewhat typewriter method, but I'm just really just working this way in a 10 by 10 column, bringing the colors across so that I get the vignette done. I did start working on her, but there is a mistake over here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, so I'm just coming across and building up to where the mistake is, and then I can fix it. But yeah, this is where it's at now, and this is the one that I rotate through the most on my full coverage rotation in the mornings. Yeah, my full coverage rotation basically consists of this, Inner Depths, and Hatter, and I stitch until they reach the 1,000 mark. So this one, we are at 98,000 and a little bit because I don't stop. And so the next time I pull this out, the goal will be 99,000. That's getting really close to a big milestone. So, yeah. Stitching Shelf. Okay, so my most recent Monopoly roll, which I am playing on Sunday mornings with Kim, Amy, and Gail, and we are rolling doing one roll, one move, and then whatever we land on, that's what we're stitching. And our goal is basically whatever the cost is plus the rent or whatever for if it's owned by one of the others. So I landed in jail, and for me, my objective when I land in jail is to work on something that is my problem child. the struggle bus, the one that I need to correct and get on track and just make it work. And so that for me has been Lebell Lettres de GiGi. And here's what it looks like, or what it should look like. Nope, that's not it. Did I take it out? Ah, there it is. Because, you know, the glare of plastic might make a difference. And it might not. But if you can see the pattern that is there, yeah. I bought this in good faith in knowing that the style would be what I wanted, because I couldn't make out the picture online. It literally was four little blurs to make up the picture because the pixels didn't even want to compute, just didn't work. And so in this pattern down here, one of the biggest designs is this, the two deers and this tree with some squirrels off the sides and some deer off of the top. And right in here, there is a jog that the whole thing does. And I'm going to put in a picture here of where I was last time. And I consider this my sexy sampler because of the color combination that I chose. And I really, really like it. And here's where I am now. So I am doing it in a very bright pink and anchor black. And so I was up to about here, and it was in this spot here that I noticed this jog in the pattern, and I considered keeping it, you know, because nobody's perfect, right? And I thought, well, that's okay. But I just couldn't do it. I pulled out the squirrel that was stitched here. Actually, I didn't even pull it out right away. If I remember right, I pulled some of it out. Anyways, the part that was attached to the pole, the tree, the trunk, whatever you want to call it, the center staff here. And I corrected it and made it come up. And then I worked these guys in. I actually worked. Which side did I work? I worked on this side here and came up and worked on that. And then I came up and I worked on this. And then I came all the way across. And then I started to come down and finish off the little bits off of the center and bring it over and then bring in the bigger bits. So yeah, I did have to frog this here. I did have some of that put in, but I had to frog it because this is now one stitch that way compared to the chart. So everything that's going to be on this side is going to be an extra space off of this whole design from here up. So there's a squirrel to put in here, which I did have to frog all the way out eventually, and finish off this whatever that's supposed to be. It's called a reindeer. Antlers like that. yeah. So once that pattern portion is done and I get the, you know, I think there's like 5 other things on this page. This page will be finished and we will have 1 page left to go. And this is the page where it connects to the top, of course, where I started. And there is an area there where I have to frog, which is why, not frog, fudge, which is why I came around this way, so that I wouldn't be counting off of the mistake that I made up here. And then have it all be off, but I'm correcting as I go for some things anyways. So it's a beautiful design. If you can find a GiGi R Lebell Lettres de GiGi, if you want one, get them, because they're not easy to find. So yeah, there's that. And I don't know how many stitches I did, but I know that I did more than enough to get out of jail. You know what I forgot to talk about? See, I make notes, and I don't really follow the notes. They just exist. Putting stuff back in this pile, I saw my little bag of threads that I was using for the trick-or-treat thing. So there's this, it calls for a specialty thread. It calls for Needle Necessities Overdyed Marigold. And that's for this specialty stitch in the center here. So I just went through my stash and picked out some threads that I thought were similar, and the one I ended up going with. So we got some M&M's silk. I had some DMC 51, some DMC 106, some Gentle Hearts pumpkin pie. But the one that I went with was the Silken Colors Apples and Oak Leaves. And that's the one that I did the specialty stitches in. Now we can put these away. Okay, so let's just check things off the list. Okay, we did that, we did that, I did that. I had a new start. I talked about that. Okay. A new start. Because, you know, I'm on a kick with the Sweetheart Tree. Went back into that project bag and looked for another little project. And, you know, I'm not a really seasonal stitcher, so you thought, well, maybe from Halloween over to Thanksgiving or Christmas or Remembrance Day. But no, Nantucket Rose. Pretty summer, spring type design. Just a little pattern. I, you know, have a collection of these, so you might as well stitch them. And I had this fabric that was just the right size left over from the pumpkin, so this is stitched on the same bit of fabric, just the other half of what I had left there. And here's where I'm at. And I am stitching it in the opposite order from what Sandra has designed it as. her instructions have you start on the outer border and then work your way in. And I prefer to work from center out, and so I'm just doing it that way. So yeah. So there's where that's at, and I expect that that will be finished probably the next time, unless I have a major breakdown and can't finish it for whatever reason. Okay, and this one is right by hand, so we're going to show you Inner Depths. And this is my one of my other full coverage projects that I work on in the mornings. This is by Chris Ortega. The artwork is by Chris Ortega, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I like to stitch all of my full coverage designs on 25 count 2/1/2 cross. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And here's where it's at now. So I'm hoping that you see a lot of difference, which is one of the reasons why I was not showing it a whole lot every time, because, you know, it's kind of boring just to see, oh, that little bit got done. But yeah, so I am working on this column. It's not column, row over here, and getting it through the next 10 row stitch. I am working mostly, I'm working from the outside in the typewriter method, so from this side in, and if I, like coming from this side, I get to her and I work on that quite a bit, and then I stop and I come over here and work it over, just because the background's a bitch, and yeah, I want to get it, I want to see this finished, so yeah, just trudge on through the background to get to the fun stuff. And yeah, Inner Depths, this is what it's going to look like when it's finished, because I didn't share that properly. Okay. Hatter did get touched, but he's going to not be shown this time, because better save it for another time. Okay. I am going to have to get up, so to get my other fully finished, big, I'm really happy with this one. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so, for those of you who know, you know that I do, well, I don't actively look anymore, but I have a bunch of frames in my collection that I've collected from yard sales and such to use, because sometimes you just find something that you want to stitch and it'll fit in that frame and blah 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 blah. So I've had these frames because I like them, and came with artwork, so this is one of them, and there was a matching set. So I might have paid like $30 for the pair. I don't think it was that much. But I realized that one of the projects that I have very close to being finished is going to fit in that frame. And of course now the back wants to come off. But that's fine, because it's not permanently, this isn't the final finished product, because it needs to be adjusted just a little bit. But this is Poppy Girl, or Girl in a Poppy Field, as its proper title is. This is a kit by Vervico, and yeah, I did swap out the fabric because I was not liking that Ada, but the rest of it is from the kit. Floss. And it's going to fall out of here, honestly. But here's where it was when you last saw it, because, you know, it's suspense. And here she is now. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh, look at that red. It just pops so much. And I didn't even refinish the frame. It's just a plastic frame, or MDF, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, she fits in there perfectly. Okay, now she doesn't quite fit in there perfectly, and I'm a little bothered by it because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So one of the things that I do have to finish because if it was mounted properly, and I would seal it in here, but it's not mounted properly. It's on a bit of sticky board. It's a proper mounting board, but it's just not straight. I have to straighten out this corner here, and it'll straighten out that corner there. So I just put some temporary tape on the back with some temporary craft paper. It is a little bit long on this side, and as I was stitching it, I was like, I came around this way, and as I was over here, I was thinking to myself, I really should measure this and make sure that it's going to be situated in the frame the way that I want it to be. But I was 3/4 of the way done before I thought of that, and it was like, oh, it'll work. And if it's too wide, I can shift it so that it doesn't have this edge here. But if I shift it now, it's going to have a bigger gap up here. So I'm just going to adjust this side so that it fits properly, and I'm not going to bother that much with that corner. But yeah, I mean, look at that detail. Those little bits of dandelion. And her eyes, and after I got it framed, or in the frame, mounted on the board, I realized that it is missing there's supposed to be a French knot on her eye, but I don't think it needs it. And if you are not aware, there is a big mistake in this pattern. Not in the pattern, sorry, in the producer. The maker, me, I stitched this. This is my mistake. Yeah. The pattern is 2 pages. One page is this, and the other page is this. And I made a working copy, and, you know, I stitched from the center out, so I stitched her from her head and over to the tree, and then I came down here, and I was coming across here. And as I was coming across here, I made a big boo-boo, and so I had to fudge it. And I guess I should tell you what the boo-boo is. If you can't see it, I mean, I can't see it in the screen there, but when I look at it like this, I do see it. These 3 rows right here, all the way up there, those are duplicate. I popped out of the frame because I stitched this shaded area from the overlap twice. But only when I came to the bottom part of the page. So her arm and everything is right. I had to fudge it from here. I had to fudge this bit and anything that connected with the poppies here is where I had to fudge it, which meant changing out a little bit. The dress was supposed to come over 3 more stitches, but I finished this, which is why this is 3 stitches too far over, right? Yeah, so then I stitched from the top of the dress and brought it down and then just filled in with the beige colors wherever it looked like it should be. That's all I did. Yeah. Pretty great finish. And now I'm going to put it aside. And it's probably going to fall out of the frame now, but get it properly adjusted and then affixed. I think what I need is I need to put the other piece of cardboard in there so that it is held into the frame properly. It's just sitting in there loosely. Yeah. So I actually had that hanging on the wall along with this one, because why not, right? And I also had my other Remembrance Day piece out. Yeah, because I wanted to have Poppy Girl in a Poppy Field ready for Remembrance Day, because poppies. And this is my other poppy piece that I finished. I believe I finished this one last year or the year before. But I put this out with poppy things, well now, in November, right after Halloween. Just swap it out. Okay, so I think that I've shown you everything that I've worked on. I've talked a lot, but I'm going to talk some more because I'm going to tell you what my snow day project is, and I'm dreading it already. But I do think that this needs some love. I've started it a long time ago because I've admired it for so long, and somebody else has started this. I think it's Rachel Q. Stitches started this. I don't know how far she is. I think she was doing hers on Ada, but I'm doing mine on Twilight Blue, I believe it is. Twilight Blue Belfast Linen by Permin of Copenhagen, that I've had in my stash for decades, very possibly, because I had it there for something else, and I don't know if I'm going to stitch that, and it was like, you know, that's the perfect size for this. So I got everything out that I needed to do this, and I started it, and this is going to be my snow day project. So I haven't stitched on it yet, because I decided on that after it snowed, okay? So, yes, it snowed here once, maybe twice, but it stuck around for a little bit, but now it's mostly gone again. But here's where it's at, and I'm just gonna work on my way across here, or whatever. I mean, I got it situated in the Q-snap so that I can just pick it up and work on it if it snows. But if it snows, I only have to put in one length of thread. and then put it down and work on whatever else, whether it be a Monopoly roll or something else. Yeah. So that is everything that I can think of that I have touched in the last 4 weeks, because believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, I was pretty monogamous. Right? I mean, I know you saw a lot of projects, but they got a lot of progress because that was focus. The little thing at the lunch hour is enough to break it up for me, so I come home and then I work on the big project for a bit and get satisfaction. When I finished Poppy in Girl in a Poppy Field, I did have a compulsion to start another big project, and then I started the little project, the one for my lunchtime stitch, because both were happening at the same time, a small finish and a big finish. And pulling out my GiGi R Sexy Sampler for my evening stitch in place of Poppy Girl has motivated me to get a lot more progress done on that one. I'm still loving stitching on that, so I think I'm going to work on that one and finish off these motifs here, and maybe finish off this page before I switch, except tomorrow is when I roll for Monopoly, and I'm kind of hoping that, well, I love GiGi R, because I mean, look at that. I'm loving working on it. It's also a good time to put it away, because then I'm motivated to pull it out again. It's not, well, a trouble bus anymore. It's not a problem child. It's coming along fantastically. So, yeah. I think the next big project that you're going to see has been the one that has been whispering from the background for quite a while, is Royal Tudor Mandala. Yeah, plans, right? So those are the things that I'm thinking about. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that I have. There is one other thing. But no, I'll leave that for next year. Next Halloween, because it's a little bit. Actually, I'll leave it for Christmas, because it might be Christmas related too. So, anyways, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna go. I got stuff that I gotta get done, and life, you know. So until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other. It's rough out there. Happy stitching. Bye.